Hello friends, and it is a new month, so that means it is time for a new manga wrap up. I read a ton of stuff in April. I think I read 35 volumes of manga. Let me double check. I read 35 volumes of manga. Amazing. I feel like this is the best month I've ever had manga reading wise, and I will say that it is completely due to the fact that I just binge read Defying Kurosaki-kun. Alright, so since we have a lot to talk about, let's go right into it. The first manga I'm going to talk about, I actually read in March, but I forgot to talk about it, and it is a digital manga. It's a digital manga and it's called Having an Idol Loving Boyfriend is the Best. And this manga was made for me. So it's a digital only manga from Kodansha, of course. And it's about this girl, I think she's like in her 20s, and she loves like male idols. There's a group that she really likes. And then her coworker also really likes male idols too, and so it's about their kind of like friendship, their bonding between kind of like talking about their favorite idols and going to events and stuff like that, and then eventually the two of them start dating. And that's not a spoiler because it's literally in the title. It's kind of about these two people who are really like obsessed with idols, having fun going to do stuff together, and then also like dating, and kind of like, are we doing these things as like idol friends or are we doing these things as a date? And just kind of like the struggles with that sort of relationship, but also how fun it is to have a partner who is like super into the same thing that you are doing. It is just so much fun. For somebody who loves like Japanese idols, like this manga felt like it was made for me. I love stuff about kind of like fan culture. And it's always really cute to see like male characters who are into male idols like the same way that like I would be. It's just really, really fun. So if you're in any sort of like idol fan culture, then definitely check it out. Don't know, there's no like update on when the next volume is coming out, and so I'm very disappointed. I can't even like subscribe to the series on Amazon, so I'm going to be hounding Kodansha's website because I need more of this. It's just really fun, and I love stuff about like idol culture and things like that. I had a lot of fun with it. I loved like the little relationship that they have, and seeing kind of like how they navigate their relationship between like being idol fans together and then like being an actual couple is really interesting to watch. So definitely a perfect manga for me. The next manga that I read a bunch of new releases because a ton of stuff came out in the beginning of April, so I'm going to talk about those. The first one is Chihayafuru Volume 31. Oh my god, cried again, but I feel like I'll just cry until the end of Chihayafuru. So in this volume we have like the kind of the, I think it's the semifinals of the team tournament at the National High School Karate Tournament, and we have Mizusawa going up against Arata's school, and it is intense. It was so intense. Like Chihaya is so good, and I feel like she is just improving like with every second that she plays karate. I also had to deal with a lot with Taichi and his kind of absence from the karate club, and he is off doing stuff with like the Master and the Queen, like filming a TV show. He slowly realized that he wants to be there for his teammates, and he finally shows up. Oh my god, dramatic. Just like, I'm looking at the pages again, but just like when Taichi shows up at the end of the match, he shows up on the Chihaya card, which iconic, and then just like Chihaya finally sees Taichi, and like the flashbacks because she's playing Arata, and then Taichi shows up watching, and it just flashes back to her childhood, and I'm gonna cry talking about this. So Chihaya is wearing Taichi's like headband and she doesn't even notice, so it's like it's their last match as like a club together in like official high school thing, and like just the fact that like Taichi is not there, but like, you know, he is there in all of them, and Chihaya is wearing his headband. It just I don't know. I feel like all of my thoughts on Chihayafuru are really disjointed, and I'm gonna probably leave it there because there's so much and so many emotions that I feel like this video would be 40 minutes long if I just talked about Chihayafuru. So just know that I want to cry every single volume of Chihayafuru. And other digital manga that I read, a bunch of it actually. All right, so I read, I think I actually read 2 volumes of this, so which makes my count of manga 36 instead of 35, but I read 2 volumes of Our Fake Marriage, which is another digital only manga from Kodansha. This one is like pretty okay. There's nothing like super special about it, but it's still fun to read. So Our Fake Marriage is about this girl named Yae, and she is in her late 20s, or she's 30. How old is she? Yeah, she's 29, and she finds herself suddenly kind of kicked out of her apartment and then also loses her job. And so she kind of has nothing going for her right now. She doesn't have a boyfriend, she doesn't have a job, she doesn't have a place to live, and so she is like really down on her luck. And so then in a stroke of fate, she runs into a childhood friend, and he is like a successful architect and super rich and really fancy, and he basically offers her the chance to live with him as long as she pretends to be his wife. So she gets thrown into this ridiculous situation from another ridiculous situation, and she's pretending to be her childhood friend's wife. And so she's kind of thrown into this world that she does not really feel like she belongs in, and she's kind of wondering like why he would want to pick her, because, you know, she is of course like kind of plain and not super high class, fancy, rich, whatever. Basically, it's like a fake dating trope, except it's fake marriage. You get the feeling that this guy Takumi is kind of has maybe some unrequited feelings for her from the past. So there seems to be a potential for a real relationship to develop here once Yae kind of like gets out of her head. It's really fun. It's kind of spicy. It's kind of like teasing spicy because they don't like, they keep on getting interrupted. And I'm like, stop getting interrupted. But yeah, it's a really like kind of cute, fun, like spicy sort of read. So if you love like the fake dating trope, then this manga will be for you. I've read 2 volumes, and you know, it's kind of just like more of the same, so I'm not gonna say, I think it's like probably like a 3-star manga. Like, it's enjoyable that I want to read more, but there's not anything like super special about it. And the last bit of digital manga that I read is I read Defying Kurosaki-kun volumes 7 to 17. So I read 10 volumes of Defying Kurosaki-kun. I literally just caved and just bought the rest of it that was available because I could not handle not getting more of it. So I talked about Defying Kurosaki-kun in another video. I think it was my last monthly wrap up, and I love this manga despite its kind of like I want to say problematic, but it's not I don't feel like it's not super problematic. It's just kind of like a trope. Like, Kurosaki-kun is like mean and sort of a bully and kind of controlling, so I guess that is problematic. But you know, it's like a fantasy, you know, fantasy for the girls. There's so much that happened in these 17 volumes, so I'm just gonna talk generally about it, and if you want to talk specifics of Defying Kurosaki-kun, let me know. But first off, we do get to meet Kurosaki-kun's dad, so if you're not comfortable with like feeling the feels for Kurosaki-kun, try Kurosaki-san, because it's just a grown-up version of Kurosaki-kun. But so we get to see kind of more of his family dynamic, and the Kurosaki family is just a bunch of men who don't know how to express their feelings. They're all a mess, but they're all very adorable, really. They just don't know how to express their feelings properly, and it comes off as like really like tsundere and stuff like that, and it's just really cute. Okay, I know I'm weird for loving this manga so much, but it's really good. His dad is like, he's so funny because of the way he kind of wants to get like Kurosaki-kun's attention. Like, he wants to like see him at school or talk about like things from school or his relationship or stuff like that, and the way he approaches kind of like making sure that you and Kurosaki's like relationship is not too mature. It's just really cute. We have somebody from Kurosaki-kun's past that comes in and tries to ruin his relationship with you, and then we have a new girl come in who is just the opposite of you. She's a lot like Shirakawa, where she has kind of like this one type of personality, but then on the outside, but then she's kind of a different person on the inside. And so seeing them, so she comes to try to get Kurosaki-kun, and it's a whole thing, but Kurosaki is like, who the fuck are you? Like, I only like you. So you get Kurosaki-kun's brother, who is also emotionally unavailable man. He has a really good story arc, and it's just really good. Just really a fun time. And just throughout the manga, you can see how Kurosaki-kun is changing. So he is less abrasive and he's more open. He has like friends that he talks to. He's still kind of like rough, but you know, he genuinely enjoys having friends and being around people that he likes. He loves his girlfriend, and seeing the two of them kind of try to get on the same page with their feelings is really, really great. I definitely read 18 volumes of this. I just didn't put it on my Notion list. So I guess I read 37 manga. So I think I read up to volume 18 because volume 19 is the last one. And it's gonna be a doozy. I see some really great stuff in here. It's about like kind of understanding each other's feelings and what each other wants, especially like sexually. So we kind of deal with the decision that like maybe teenagers have to make of wanting to get have like a more physical relationship and that sort of thing. So it's really good. And I really think that everybody should read Defying Kurosaki-kun. I feel like if it was in print, it would be very popular, but also people would probably hate it because Kurosaki is mean. Manga that I picked also problematic is I finished Daytime Shooting Star. So I read volumes 6 through 12, also binged this one. So Daytime Shooting Star, I feel like I need to make a whole video about this because I feel like there's a lot of stuff in here that maybe you wouldn't know if you haven't read it. From the surface, it is a girl who falls in love with her teacher and he kind of reciprocates her feelings, so not great, and that teacher needs to go to jail. The thing about Daytime Shooting Star, and I'm not shy about this spoiler because it gets people to actually read it, and she does not end up with the teacher, and I think that's really, really important to this story because it really tells you there's a lot. The manga spends a lot of time telling you that the teacher character is a bad relationship choice for her, and not specifically in the way of like student teacher adult minor relationships are bad. I feel like there's a little bit of that in there, but it definitely, at least from like a romantic standpoint, the manga tells you that, you know, this teacher is too old for her. He cannot support her in the way that she needs to be supported. And her high school love interest is definitely a better choice because, you know, he can share the same experiences and she can talk to him a lot better, and it's not worried about kind of like what his experience is or anything like that. So it doesn't explicitly say like student-teacher relationships are bad, but I feel like through context clues and, you know, like critical reading, you can tell that this manga is saying that, like, you know, don't date your teacher, don't date somebody older because they can't relate to you on the way that you need to, especially when you're that young. So I think that's a really great thing about Daytime Shooting Star, and something I never really knew about like before I went into it, and so I think it's something that's really important for manga readers to know. And of course, if you do not like to read stuff like relationships like this, kind of like taboo stuff, then don't read it. Like, you don't have to read it. But I feel like if you're on the fence about it, then knowing that information might help you make a better like might sway you one way or another. It does kind of spend a lot of time on the student-teacher relationship, and there are parts in the manga where you really feel like our main character is going to choose the teacher character for her partner. I think another message, but one of the main themes in this manga is that your first love is not always going to be your only love, you know? It's about moving past that first kind of like intense feelings of like love or a crush or whatever it is, and kind of finding somebody who is going to be really good for you. I think that is a major theme in this manga also. I think it spends a little bit more time with that theme than the older man is not great for you. But I still think I'm very actually happy that I read Daytime Shooting Star. Other than that, like the art in this is like gorgeous. All of these covers are so beautiful. The friend group in here is really good. I really like this cover. This is really cute. But yeah, so I think if you're okay with kind of reading about taboo subjects, like Daytime Shooting Star, like I am like eating my words from like years ago because I never thought I would read this manga, but I actually ended up really liking it. So I may in the future make a full video about kind of Daytime Shooting Star and age gap relationships and stuff like that. Next, I'm gonna go in some sort of order, but I read 2 volumes of Kageki Shojo. I read volumes 3 and volume 4. So in here we have kind of the sports festival, which is different than the like typical high school sports festival, because it's really all about the Koka theater troupe and kind of the older members of the theater troupe, and kind of being a show for the fans to bring back kind of these older legendary actors and stuff like that. Here we have more characters that we dive deep into, more side characters, and kind of their struggles with, you know, their specific situations. There's a pair of twins in here that we get a lot of time with, and we kind of see them kind of their struggle to be different from each other, especially in the sense of like being in theater. Do they want to be the same type of actor, or do they want to do their own things? So we see a lot of that in here. We see Sarasa be given a great opportunity and kind of understand what it means to be kind of a junior member of this theater troupe and stuff like that. It's just really fun and really heartfelt and beautiful. So Kageki Shojo, always a favorite. And I read volume 1 of Daily Report About My Witch Senpai. This is kind of a slice of life, kind of, what is it, magical realism, like sort of manga. It's about 2 co-workers. They are adults. They work in a company. Shizuka is a witch, and this is not a secret. There are witches in this world. And she just works an office job, and you know, she kind of tries to help everybody out with everything. She's kind of like the go-to person in ways where if you want to get if you need a chore done, then she will do it. She's kind of like a yes man or a yes woman. And then there's Misono, who is kind of newer, I think, to the company, and the 2 of them kind of form a friendship, and eventually and they start to develop feelings for each other, and it's just really cute and really nice to kind of see like a cute office romance between a regular guy and a witch. It's really adorable. In the beginning, it kind of felt like things were just like random things were just happening and they didn't really connect very well, but the second half of the manga really kind of started connecting things. We get more of Shizuka's past and kind of an old relationship there, and how Misono is probably a better option for her. So this was really cute, kind of slice of life romance with a little bit of fantasy in there. In this, I think there's only 1 other volume, so it's a short series, but I feel like this is definitely worth your time. So then we have volume 3 of Lovesick Ellie, which continues to be a new favorite of mine. 3 kind of deals with them kind of trying to face their feelings a little bit more, kind of like, are they gonna kiss? Will they kiss? Maybe. And also kind of like, so their social statuses are vastly different, and so it's kind of like Ellie trying to navigate that, and also Omi-kun trying to navigate that, you know, how open are we gonna be about our relationship. And so it's still really fun and really cute. I love this series so much. We have Those Not So Sweet Boys volume 6. I think this is the second to last volume. I think there's only 1 volume, which I'm really upset about, because Yoko Nogiri, you need to write longer series. She's getting there. This is the longest one. But I really like this series. It's kind of like Ichijo kind of coming to terms with his family situation and what he wants out of it, and kind of clearing up some misunderstandings about his family, and kind of seeing a way why his family acts the way that they do. So it was really great development for Ichijo. Kind of see Ichijo-kun and Midori kind of overcome the struggles that they had in the end of last volume, and understanding Ichijo's family and that sort of thing. Really great. You see that Yuki probably has feelings for Midori, but is like, this is my best friend's girl, so I'm not going to do that. He kind of seems to try to take her away from Rei, but does not succeed, obviously. Really, really great volume for Ichijo-kun and his growth and, you know, becoming his own person and getting over like the family trauma that he has. So really, really great, super cute volume. Love this series so much. Then we have Snow White with a volume. Snow White with the volume of the red hair. Snow White with the Red Hair, volume 18. So this concludes our previous like arc with the twins, and there is so much action in the beginning of this. You get to see Zen be a complete badass, and just like, it's very, very action-packed for Snow White with the Red Hair. I feel like this is the most action we have seen in this series, and just everybody looks so cool. Like, Kiki looks really cool, Obi is really cool, Zen, amazing, Mitsuhide comes in and is just like a beautiful knight. So it's really, really cool, and you get to kind of see like the power and like respect that Zen has, even though he is like a second prince, so he really doesn't have to do what he does, but you know, he loves his country and he loves his people, and he's just like a really great leader, and you really get to see that in here. And then the second half of it, we get a long-awaited reunion of Zen and Shiryuki. The two of them have not seen each other in a really, really long time. I feel like it's been like at least a year where they haven't seen each other, and just their reunion, like, Shiryuki cries, Zen cried, I cried. It's so heartwarming and beautiful. It's just like the thing I love so much about this manga. It's like these two people are working towards like doing what they want to do with their lives. And they might not be together all of the time, but here they are finally reuniting, and it's like not a day has passed because they are still so much in love with each other, and it just warms my sad little heart. These pages, so beautiful. Like, Zen's crying. He is crying, my poor boy. Oh my god. So yeah, really, really great volume where you get really like the best of Snow White with the Red Hair. In this volume, you get the really sweet romance moments, and you also get the really cool like kind of action, fantasy action sort of stuff that I definitely love. And also look at this cover. Look at my boy Mitsuhide. He looks so cool. I love him so much. We have Yona, volume 35, and we get to see a lot of Yona really being very powerful and being like a really good leader, and the potential that she has. And we have, I mean, we have more politics going on. There's probably going to be a war that might start soon, so we'll get some more like battle kind of stuff, and kind of like a conspiracy plot that is going on, and it's just like amazing. It's amazing. Like, there is some really great like romantic moments for Hawk and Yona. I like literally just opened it up and oh my god. We get some discussion about the like dragon myth and like who do the dragons actually belong to. Really just like it continues to be amazing. And if you're not reading Yona of the Dawn, what are you doing with your life? Then we have volume 14 of Queen's Quality. My love. My absolute love. I love this volume. So we see the end of an arc here. We have to go save Ataru, and we kind of see Kyutaro do something like crazy. I'm not gonna talk about it, but it's just really, it's also like really heartwarming and really brings everybody together and just shows you how like everybody is so important to Kyutaro and to Fumi also. It's like the family aspect of this is so great. There was a little bit in here that really made me cry. Takaya really like pulled at my heart here, because when I was reading this I was like not having a good day, and I was feeling down about a lot of stuff, but like there's a scene where he's like trying to help out, support Fumi and Kyutaro and encourage them, and like though I felt like he was speaking to me. Like his words like pierced my heart. And I'm gonna cry thinking about it. And I feel like I need to like print out this page to like cheer myself up. But yeah, it's just really like uplifting and really, really great. This manga deals a lot with kind of like negative emotions and bringing yourself out of them. And so just really, some of the words in here, just, you know, like they hit really hard. But like the women in this manga, Musumi, like amazing, beautiful, epic. Just everything about this manga is so goddamn beautiful. I wish it came out closer together, but I do know it gets monthly chapters in Japan, so it's gonna be longer for volumes to come out there. And I think we are 2 or 3 volumes behind Japan. I think volume 17 is coming out really soon in Japan, so I guess we're 3 volumes behind. And let me tell you, so this is a tangent, but I haven't really talked about this. So I subscribed to Betsukami through Kinokuniya, and I get it for Queen's Quality, and let me tell you, the chapter in the, what is this, the May edition, I'm worried. My Japanese is limited, and I'm worried, so I'm gonna be a mess in like about a year, because the next volume doesn't come out until September here. So yeah, it's amazing, beautiful, forever. I know I don't really talk about too much, but you know, we are 14 volumes in, so I don't want to do too many spoilers, but if you ever want to talk to me about specifics, like just come talk to me on Twitter, like because I'll scream about it all day. But I also have a lot to get through in here. So next up, I read volumes 1 through 7 of Wild Ones. This one here. So this is an older shoujo manga. I think it's from the 2000s, and I picked this up. When did I pick this up? When I went to New York City. I went to Book Off. I found it in Book Off, and this is kind of a high school romance with Yakuza. So this manga is about this girl Sachi, and her mother dies. She has no family until her grandfather comes, and she finds out that he is a Yakuza boss. And so she goes to live in this house full of Yakuza. There is a boy, Rakuto, and he is tasked as being her caretaker. And so it's kind of the two of them going through high school and all of the crazy situations that they get into. There is a romance plot here where maybe like Sachi is in love with Rakuto, but what does Rakuto feel? And kind of, can they be together because, you know, he's the caretaker, that sort of thing. Last month I talked about Mixed Vegetables, which is another early 2000s manga where I felt like everything was really disjointed and kind of like really chaotic, and it was really difficult to read. And so I didn't like it because of that, and I pretty much feel like I am DNFing Mixed Vegetables. And Wild Ones has the same sort of things. But I'm continuing to read Wild Ones, and I think it really comes down to the characters. In Mixed Vegetables, everything, like the characters were very confusing to understand. I didn't know when they were being truthful, what their real personalities were, or anything like that. It was just very confusing and just not something I wanted to deal with. But in Wild Ones, all of the characters are really endearing. I like Rakuto. I want to find out kind of what the mystery behind him is. And I like Sachi. She is a really great, like, strong-willed sort of girl. It does have kind of, I guess, what I would call like the faults of early 2000s shoujo manga, where it's just like really disjointed and really kind of crazy. It is a lot more fun to read because the characters are so great, if that makes sense. So I feel like not a lot has really happened in this. It's just a lot of like little stories kind of through her life, and kind of her understanding maybe her feelings for Rakuto a little bit more, finding out the relationship that her mother had with her grandfather and some people from the gang in the past, that sort of thing. but there's not anything like super big that has happened, which is fine, like, you know, slice of life, that sort of thing. But I do feel like this manga is really held by the characters. I wouldn't say it's amazing. I would say maybe it's like 3 stars probably. But I also haven't finished it yet. So I've read 1 through 7. So I have 3 more volumes. And that is all that I read. That was a lot. I apologize. That was like something like 37 volumes of manga. Amazing manga reading month for me. I blame Defying Kurosaki-kun. In the comments, let me know if you've read any of these manga. If you want to talk like more in depth of them, you can always find me on Twitter. I'm always down to talk about stuff, especially Queen's Quality. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more manga goodness from me. That is all I've got, guys, today. I'm Chrissy Lou. Till next time, mata ne!